Did you know you might be dreaming right now? I don't mean that in a sci-fi simulation theory way. I mean something much closer, much more intimate than that. I mean what you call waking life might not be what you think it is. And seeing this clearly can change everything without you needing to believe anything at all. This video is an invitation not to adopt a new belief, not to join a new religion, not to become spiritual, but to look directly at your own experience in a way most of us were never taught to. By the end of this, you may start to notice that what you call my life is more of a dream than a machine, and that the one living it is not what you were told. The common story we're taught is that you are a human body, made of flesh and blood and chemicals. You live on a small planet in a huge, mostly empty universe. Your mind is in your brain. You were born, you'll live for a while, and then you'll die, and that's it. This story is that your life is you go to school, get a job, you be productive, you try to be someone, and then you hope it all meant something. And it's not that this story is totally wrong, it's that it's incomplete. It leaves out the most obvious part of the whole thing, and this missing piece is the reason why much of what we do as a society feels like shooting ourselves in the foot and then calling it progress. So let's take this slowly. The forgotten, obvious thing. So right now, there are sounds, there are shapes, there are colors, there are sensations in your body, there's thoughts passing through, maybe emotions moving in the background. All of this is happening, that's obvious. But there's something even more obvious, and it's so close that we usually miss it. All of this is being experienced. There is experiencing here. There is knowing of what's happening. Call this simple fact awareness. We're not making anything mystical here. We're just giving it a name to the plain fact that there is a knowing of what's going on. Without this knowing, nothing else you believe about the world could ever appear. No science, no religion, no relationships, no money, no problems, no solutions. Everything you've ever known has appeared inside this knowing. That's the part we forgot to include in the story. For this, I'd like to give you a metaphor of a room. Inside of this room, furniture may come and go. People walk in and out. Light changes throughout the day. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's noisy, sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's tidy. But through all of that, one thing is constant. The space of the room is just there. It's open, allowing everything to happen within it. Now turn your own attention inward for a moment. Your thoughts appear, memories show up, emotions rise and fall, sensations change. The world is seen and heard. Just like the room, there's a kind of inner space in which all of this appears. The content changes, the furniture of your experience. But the open room in which it all appears in doesn't come and go with it. You don't have to believe this. You can check it for yourself right now. Notice that you're aware of what you're experiencing. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. Notice how everything you're aware of is happening in your own awareness. Nothing appears outside of it. This awareness is like the room. So why does this matter? Now think about a night dream. When you're dreaming, you might have a body in the dream. You might walk around, talk to people, feel fear or joy or excitement. But all of that, the dream body, the dream world, the dream characters, is arising in one mind, your mind. When you wake up, it's obvious. Oh, that was all happening in me. The whole dream was in my mind. So this video is suggesting something similar about what we call waking life. Not that it's fake, not that nothing is real, but that everything you call my reality is appearing in this inner room of you, of your awareness. That includes the body, other people, the world, thoughts about science, thoughts about spirituality, everything. So from this angle, waking life is dreamlike, not because it's meaningless, but because it's happening within the field of experiencing that we rarely notice directly. And here's a twist. Forget the dream for a moment. Without awareness, there is no world for you at all. If you were not aware of the world, there'd be nothing to be aware of. Awareness is you. So, what is more fundamental? The things you experience, or the fact that they are experienced at all? So how society shoots itself in the foot. Let's zoom out to society. Most of our culture behaves as if this simple fact that experience is primary doesn't exist. We act as if we're nothing but separate bodies, separate minds, separate stories, all living in a dead, indifferent universe. From that assumption, our values become productivity over presence, control over connection, image over reality, speed over depth, noise over silence. We build systems that treat living beings as machines. We chase success while ignoring the one who is experiencing it. We try to fix the world without understanding the one who is interpreting it. From the outside, when this is seen clearly, it can feel heartbreaking, like watching people slowly enter themselves and calling it self-improvement. Not because they're stupid or bad or anything like that, but because they were never shown how to understand their own experience. This is what happens when a civilization forgets the room and only sees the furniture. Science is beautiful. It's given us medicine, technology, deeper understanding of patterns in nature. The problem isn't science or materials or the things around us at all. But the problem is the belief attached to it. The belief that the world exists totally separate from experience. And that what you are is just a tiny physical object in a huge machine. But notice something. Every experiment, every equation, every discovery happens in experience. The scientists, the lab, the instruments, the numbers on the screen, the feelings of excitement, all of it appears in awareness. When we forget this, we take one layer of the dream, we call it matter, and laws of physics, and treat it as the absolute truth. But from the standpoint of your lived reality, what is more undeniable? An abstract story about particles and fields, or the direct fact that you are aware right now? Again, no belief required, just looking. This doesn't mean we throw away science. It means we see it as a beautiful map inside a much larger territory. Science describes patterns within experience. It does not explain away the experiencer. We've been using this word awareness to the point, to this open room of experiencing. Some people use another word, consciousness. Don't worry about the definitions. Think of consciousness as the simple fact that anything appears at all. It's the light through which the whole room is lit up, the light by which experience is known. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to see it. You can't see it the way you see objects because it's the seeing itself. But you can notice that whatever happens, however your life changes, the basic being here, this basic knowing that something is happening, does not come and go with the contents of whatever you're seeing, whatever you're experiencing. Look back as far as you can in memory, childhood, flashes of moments, different bodies, different situations. All of it different, but there's a familiar sense of being here that's been present for all of it. That continuity is what I'm pointing to. Not as a concept, but as a felt fact that you're here. Hello. So, humans noticed something a long time ago, that patterns repeat. They repeat in the sky, they repeat in the earth, in human lives, in stories and dreams. We give names and symbols to these patterns: astrology, alchemy, mythology. These things may look strange or superstitious from a purely materialistic view, but if you start from experience itself, a different picture emerges. The world is not just a collection of objects, it's a sea of meaningful patterns, and the mind works symbolically. It dreams in images, it thinks in associations. So it was natural for humans to map experience using symbolic systems. Planets became symbols, elements became symbols, animals, gods, numbers, directions all became mirrors for inner tendencies and movements. The key understanding is this: these symbols don't have power over you. They are reflections of you, of how this one field of experiencing moves and shapes itself. The macrocosm, the big picture, the cosmos, and the microcosm, the small picture, your life, are not two totally separate things. They mirror each other because they arise from the same source: you. When you begin to sense life as dreamlike, these symbolic systems can be seen not as chains, but as languages of the dream, not as fate, as a reflection. So what does wake up mean? What is awakening? What is all that terminology? It doesn't mean leaving the world. It doesn't mean escaping your life. It doesn't mean becoming special or superior or detached from everything. It's so much more ordinary than that. It means noticing deeply, quietly, that every thought about who you are, every story about what the world is, every fear, every desire, every belief, all of it appears in this open, aware presence. And that this presence is never overwhelmed by what moves inside of it. It's aware of all the thoughts, all the emotions, all the experiences. Like the space of the room never being harmed by the arguments that happen inside. Like the movie screen never being burned by the fire inside of the film. Like the sky never being broken by the storms that pass through it. So waking up is simply recognizing that your reality is built more like a dream than a machine. Not in the sense that it's unreal, but in the sense that it all appears in one seamless field of knowing. When this is glimpsed, even for a moment, the feeling of being a tiny, separate, isolated thing in a hostile world begins to loosen. You start to feel less like a character trapped in a story, and more like the open space in which the whole world, whole story unfolds. No need to tell you what you are. Words become less important. The recognition is immediate, intimate, beyond labels. You might be thinking, if this is so simple, why doesn't everyone see it? Because most of us have spent a lifetime building an identity around being a separate thing, a separate body, a separate personality, a separate story. The identity is like a costume. It's really useful in the play. It helps us navigate the world. But if someone comes along and says, hey, you're not the costume, you're something deeper, the costume can feel attacked. It hears, you're wrong, you're deluded, and it defends itself. That's why this has to be approached with gentleness and with metaphor, not as a debate. You don't need to attack the costume. You simply invite a deeper noticing. Look not only at what you experience, but at the fact that you experience. Over time, the tightness around identity can soften on its own. No force, no argument, just seeing. If all this still feels like theory, here are some simple invitations. Not techniques to master, just experiments in noticing. Several times a day, pause for a few seconds. Instead of focusing on what you're thinking or feeling, just sense the space in which those thoughts and feelings are happening. The fact that you are, the fact that you exist, and presence, which is witnessing all these experiences. Not with your eyes, just a gentle inner noticing. No need to describe it. Just notice that it's there. Before you sleep, remember how your day felt. Then recall how real your dreams feel when you're in them. Simply ask yourself without needing an answer, how do I know I'm not in a kind of dream right now? A dream of waking life, appearing in something larger. No belief needed, just curiosity. Look back over your life. So many things have changed. Your body, your environment, your roles, your beliefs. But something has been constant. The basic sense of being here. The fact that there is experience at all. Let your attention rest, even for a moment, in that simple continuity. That's it. These small shifts in attention can begin to reveal what words like awareness, consciousness, and even self are trying to point towards. So, are you dreaming? In one sense, no. Bills are real, pain is real, the world matters. This isn't about denial. It's not about saying nothing is real and floating away. In another sense, yes, reality behaves much more like a dream than like a cold machine, because everything you know of it appears in the same seamless, ever-present field of experience. This is not a belief to adopt. It's a fact to notice. And this becomes clearer. Life doesn't suddenly become perfect, but something in the core of your experience softens. There's less fear, less isolation, less need to constantly defend an identity. Instead, there's a quiet, growing sense that whatever this is, this existence, is not happening to you from the outside. It is happening in and as this very presence that is hearing these words right now. If that even slightly resonates with you, that's enough. It's enough for now. Let it work on you in its own time. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to become anything. Maybe just remember once in a while in the middle of your day. Did he know you might be dreaming? And let that question gently open the door back to the home you never actually left. And remember, like and subscribe.